Thousands of people around the world are protesting in support of Palestine. Do you believe that this will pressure the international system to put an end to this genocide?
Protests around the world usually happen in support of Palestinians' quest to justice, self-determination, and freedom. And those things are not new. There is usually increase of those popular or public protests whenever the State of Israel increases its murderous and criminal activities towards the Palestinian people. The world has been witnessing thousands upon thousands of people taking to the streets, trying to just show some kind of solidarity with Palestinians who are being butchered and murdered. The impact of those protests, I don't see those protests creating any kind of pressure on the governments where those protests are happening. There is a political decision made up by westernized governments to support Israel's genocide that is going on right now. So the protesters have very, very limited, let's say, impact on their politicians. We need those protests to go on, but we need to relocate. The protests should be targeting the Israeli oppressor. We are not being murdered by your Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We are not being murdered by your parliament. We are not being murdered by your president. We are not being murdered by the supporters, beneficiaries, and defenders of the State of Israel in other countries. We are being murdered by the State of Israel. The State of Israel has an embassy in your country, and I have no idea why that embassy is still open after 27 days of genocide. So what we need is relocate those protests from public spaces and open spaces and parliaments and so on to surround each and every Israeli embassy on the planet. And we need sit-ins to happen in those places until Israeli genocide comes to an end, and maybe also until Israeli apartheid comes to an end.